Kia ora koutou, no mai haere mai, and welcome to Frogs on Friday. It's great to be back here in the office. For anyone who tuned into the show last week, I was pretty lucky to make it to the end with my voice still going, so I've been off sick the last week or so great to be back here and even a bit of sunshine in the background. Now, on today's show for Mahi Media, we will go through some good news for New Zealand. They're number one for something, and it's pretty positive, this one. We will go through our hot jobs as usual, both here in New Zealand and further abroad. And I'm joined by, virtually joined by Catherine Kennedy from our Sydney office in Australia, who's been on the news recently herself, talking about the work from home debate. And we'll finish off as usual with the polls. So let's jump into Mahi Media. Okay, so great news for Aotearoa. We have been ranked first in the world for work-life balance. So I'd actually missed this news, but I didn't want it, kind of slipped under the radar with a few other things happening, but I didn't want to miss giving a shout out to New Zealand for being ranked number one and leading the way in a global index study that assesses the quality of work-life, or perhaps life-work balance. And the study considers several different factors, including things like minimum wage, sick leave provisions, maternity leave, the availability of healthcare, and particularly government-funded healthcare, public happiness, average working hours, and LGBTQ plus inclusivity, among other things. So for New Zealand in particular, our relatively high annual leave allowances, as well as sick pay and sick leave, and the public healthcare system really contributed to a whopping score of 79.35 out of 100. So a clear almost 4 points ahead of the next nation in, which was Spain. So great to see some positive news and us leading the way for something really important, particularly in this work environment and changing ways. Now, there has been a lot of talk about Kiwis being tempted away by better opportunities overseas, but this study really suggests that perhaps the grass isn't necessarily greener elsewhere. So as I keep saying, please stay here. Let me know if you think that the study has it right, and if you're enjoying a healthy balance between your career and personal life. I guess if that's not the case, if you think something's lacking in your current opportunity, perhaps some of these jobs that we have coming up might entice you away to better conditions. Let's have a look at the hot jobs of the week. Okay, so first up we have a temporary role. This one's based out of Wellington for a project administrator, paying a decent $40 per hour. For this one, looking at general experience in admin and project support, so you'd be playing a role supporting the project manager and team, things like coordinating meetings, distributing minutes and agendas, and various administration to keep the project ticking along. Obviously need experience in a project environment for this one. If you are interested in this contract role, please get in touch with Caroline from our Wellington office. All right, let's have a look at the perm role. Another one from Wellington. So I know that there's, I'm going to be down there visiting the team next week, and I know that there is a lot going on within the team. So this role is a principal policy advisor, looking at a range of different complex and high profile projects within the government agency here. So again, obviously you'll need that previous experience to operate at the senior level, and a competitive salary is available. For this one, get in touch with Domingo in the Wellington team as the first point of contact. All right, let's have a look at some of the opportunities. If you are still tempted to go overseas seeking different roles and opportunities, let's have a look at our roles in the UK and Australia. Okay, so across in London, so there's a permanent role on offer, a communications manager. As I said, it's just a sample of the roles that we have there, but I just love seeing the variety of the different positions that we have available each week from our newest branch in London. If you are interested, or if you're already over in the UK, get in touch for this one with Hannah or any of the team there in our London-based office, or get in touch with your local people-to-people or Frog team to point you in the right direction. Let's have a look on what Australia has to offer.
I am currently working with a boutique law firm who are recruiting for a legal assistant in their office based in the northern suburbs. This is an ideal opportunity for an experienced legal assistant who has over 2 years of experience in personal injury and is looking for a role closer to home. This legal assistant role is supporting the practice manager and has great benefits available such as flexible working, an employee assistance program, a day off for your birthday, and great coaching opportunities as well. Salary is flexible depending on experience. If this sounds like an ideal opportunity for you, please don't hesitate to apply now or reach out to me for more information on 0497 477 320.
Well, a battle is brewing between employees and employers as big corporations start calling time on work from home arrangements.
CBA staff are at the coalface of this fight, taking the bank to the Fair Work Commission after they were told to return to the office 50% of the time starting tomorrow.
So what does all this mean for the future of work in Australia? Let's bring in Medibank Senior Executive Karen 𝐬𝐿𝐥𝐿 in Ballarat and workplace expert Catherine Kennedy with us in the studio. Catherine, I want to start with you. How common is remote working right now after the COVID pandemic in Australia?
Look, it's incredibly common at People to People, which is the recruitment firm that I work with. We would work with hundreds of organisations, and I would say that most of them have got some kind of flexibility, some kind of remote working. But where the shift is at the moment is how flexible is flexible, and there's definitely, obviously, a CBA is an example of that.
Well, people just got so used to the flexibility of it during the pandemic, not spending all that time commuting. Commonwealth Bank now wants their staff to come back half of the time.
Yeah.
Why would the bank want that?
Yeah, so look, I think they've actually come out and said themselves that they see it being collaboration and innovation. They think they're going to be the key advantages that they'll get. So their view clearly is that having people together physically in the same place creates more connection and there's better ideas and innovation. I think the other piece is around incidental coaching and learning opportunities that can happen. There's nothing more powerful than being directly in the room with someone, and I think that's probably one of the advantages that they'd be seeing too.
What does the law tell us, Catherine, specifically, and how will CommBank employees go about winning their fight for flex?
Yeah. So look, I'm not an employment lawyer, so I'm certainly not going to say that I'm an expert in that area. But my understanding is there's no requirement for a business to offer work from home, but there are certain obligations around consultation. And I think in this situation with CBA, the employees are saying they weren't consulted, and so I think that might be sort of what underpins their case. But separate to the legalities, I think the issue is, will it affect their ability to attract and retain staff? And it might actually be the market that kind of dictates whether or not they're able to continue with this way of operating or not.
Okay.
Karen, let's bring you in now because we know Medibank does have a flexible working policy. What does Medibank allow and how does staff react to that?
We've had flexibility in the workplace well beyond 2020, so I think it's been something that we've been awfully proud of for many, many years, and it's something that our people continue to ask for. You know, I think for us, it's about choice and autonomy that creates healthy, productive employees, and we've seen that in the last 3 years.
What have you seen more so in regards to productivity?
I think that the most incredible thing is listening to the experience of our employees being able to be part of a community, a part of their family, more than they were in the past. And I can certainly attest for that, coming from Ballarat and having to travel into the city in the past and just having the freedom to spend more time with my family and friends and the community more generally. So we hear that over and over with our employees.
Karen, do workers work as hard when they're at home as they do when they're in the office?
I think absolutely. I think without a doubt, we've not seen any drop in productivity in the last 3 years. In fact, I think many organisations, not just Medibank, saw that we could change so quickly as part of the COVID and the pandemic working environment. I think what we found is that autonomy and choice creates more engagement, so productivity goes hand in hand with that.
When you've got a beautiful open fireplace like you do behind you in Ballarat there, why would you want to move from your couch?
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Well, thank you both, Catherine and Karen, for your time this morning. We really do appreciate it.
It's interesting, though, to see where it goes, what the future holds.
Some very interesting insights there into the great debate over whether we've seen enough of remote work and whether it's or not it's time to come back into the office. I think definitely here in New Zealand, hybrid is definitely the way to go, and most businesses are operating under that. So it'd be interesting to see how that changes over the next year or so. Okay, let's jump in and have a look at our social media polls. Okay, so we, again, talking about remote options, we asked if your current role stopped offering work from home or remote options, would you look for another role? Well, the verdict is definitely in on this one. So a whopping 70% said yes, that would be a deal breaker, and I'd start looking for something else. So obviously the appetite for work from home and flexible working arrangements is still very high in New Zealand. And let's take a look at this week's question. Okay, so one of the things that came up in the article there was when working from home, how productive are you throughout your day? I know that it's working from home isn't for everyone. We've got some people who say, oh, God, you'd hardly get any work out of me. I'd be so distracted, and there's other things too much going on. Just bring me back to the office. And others are going, well, actually, I can knuckle down and get into it, and I'm actually more productive at home. So make sure you put your comments in, and we'll see which one comes out on top if it does make a difference. Well, that is it for today. Thanks for joining us again, and we'll be back next week to go through what's happening in the world of work. Ngā mihi nui.